Good evening. If you set out to be liked, you would be prepared to compromise on anything at any time, and you would achieve nothing. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. On behalf of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister opened Middle East Conference and Exhibition for Oil, Gas and Geosciences 2023. Education Minister received Indian Ambassador. Bahrain to host Formula 1 Aramco pre-season testing 2023. No visa renewal in UAE if it is valid for 6 months. Saudi Consumer Protection Association warned against e-purchases from Instagram. News in detail. Proposal to impose remittances tax on expatriates. Several MPs have submitted a legislative proposal aiming to impose a tax on foreign cash transfers for expatriates living in Bahrain. Under the proposal, expatriates shall pay a tax of 1% on remittances of less than BD 200, 2% on transfers ranging between BD 201 and BD 400, and 3% on transfers exceeding BD 400, with the exception of agreements related to investment protection, capital transfers, and cases specified in the tax laws applicable in the kingdom. On behalf of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister opened Middle East Conference and Exhibition for Oil, Gas and Geosciences 2023. On behalf of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister opened Middle East Conference and Exhibition for Oil, Gas and Geosciences 2023. The Middle East Conference and Exhibition for Oil, Gas and Geosciences opened today at the Exhibition World Bahrain Center in Sakhir. On behalf of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa inaugurated the event. The Deputy Prime Minister stressed the importance of attached to the oil and gas sector in light of the comprehensive development march led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. He expressed thanks and gratitude to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister for patronizing this vital event that has been held in the Kingdom of Bahrain every 2 years since 1979. He noted the government's support to oil sector, given the great importance of energy which spurs growth and yields the prosperity of countries in the world. He commended the efforts of Oil and Gas Holding Company headed by His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, Naga Holding Chairman, to further the development of the oil and gas sectors. The conference is held this year under the slogan Today's Facts, Tomorrow's Energy, with the participation of more than 15,000 senior officials, engineers, specialists and academics who will discuss the current challenges facing the oil and gas industry and explore solutions to achieve sustainable energy development. More than 200 exhibitors from various international oil companies representing 40 countries are participating in exhibition. Supporting new opportunities and economic investment in sectors of priority, Industry Minister stated. Minister of Industry and Commerce Abdullah bin Adil Fakru affirmed the continuous development and growth of historical relations between Bahrain and the USA. This came as he participated as a keynote speaker in the business luncheon organized by the American Chamber of Commerce in Bahrain at the Diplomat Hotel in the presence of AmCham President Khoi H. Zubi and a number of officials and stakeholders. A number of upcoming projects between the two countries were reviewed. The Minister of Industry and Commerce also pointed to the government's program 2023-2026 from recovery to sustainable growth, reviewing the efforts and initiatives of the Ministry of Industry and Commerce to support new opportunities and economic investments in priority sectors and industries and ways to enhance economic and trade cooperation mechanisms to achieve the goals of comprehensive development and economic vision 2030. The Minister also referred to the most important developments of the Free Trade Agreement after 18 years of its launch. He also highlighted the most prominent developments in current bilateral trade, services and investments, besides other topics of common interest. Education Minister received Indian Ambassador. Minister of Education Dr. Mohammad bin Mubarak Juma, the Board Chairman of the Higher Education Council, received today Indian Ambassador to the Kingdom of Bahrain, Piyush Srivastava, and discussed with the cooperation between the two friendly countries in the educational field. The Minister praised the Indian students residing in Bahrain and studying in private educational establishments commenting their active participation in the students' activities. The Indian ambassador expressed thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Education, voicing keenness on more cooperation between the two friendly countries in the educational field. Bahraini-Indian economic relations highlighted. Minister of Industry and Commerce Abdullah bin Adel Fakhru affirmed the depth of historical relations between Bahrain and India, especially in the commercial field, which date back to the Dilmun civilization until present day. Fakhru participated as a keynote speaker in the gala dinner held on the sidelines of the 42nd International Seminar on Industrial Gases in Bahrain, in the presence of Indian Ambassador Piyush Srivastava and President of All India Industrial Gases Manufacturers Association, Sakat Tiku, organized by All India Industrial Gases Manufacturers Association, in cooperation with the Indian Embassy and with the participation of the Economic Development Board and a number of relevant authorities. The Minister highlighted the volume of Bahraini-Indian economic relations, as the volume of non-oil trade between the two countries amounted to $1.4 billion and imports from India amounted to $904 million, while the value of exports amounted to $498 million. LMRA, NPRA and Southern Police Directorate conducted joint inspection campaign. The Labour Market Regulatory Authority conducted a joint inspection campaign in the Southern Governorate in coordination with the Nationality, Passports and Residence Affairs of the Ministry of Interior and the Southern Governorate Police Directorate. The campaign resulted in reporting violations related to the labour market and residency laws. The cases were referred for legal action. LMRA stressed its commitment to report any violation through a continuous and intensive inspection plan in coordination with the relevant government entities. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. Bahrain to host Formula One Aramco pre-season testing 2023. Bahrain International Circuit, the home of motorsport in the Middle East, is all geared up to host the Formula One Aramco pre-season testing 2023 this week from 23rd to 25th February in Sakhir. Huge crates filled with F1 teams, car parts and equipment have already arrived at BIC, and the excitement is reaching fever pitch for the first and only one track running ahead of the 2023 FIA Formula One World Championship. The tests will be open to fans on Friday and Saturday, with the first day's events on Thursday being held behind closed doors. Following the completion of the F1 team's car and livery launches last week, fans who are eager to get a first glimpse of the 2023 contenders in action can purchase their tickets to the tests at BD5 per day and at half the price at BD 2.5 each for children aged 3 to 12. Tickets will be available at the gate. Saudi EULA launched a portal for entertainment and tourism licenses. The Royal Commission for EULA recently launched a portal for tourism and entertainment licenses and permits to help streamline the provision of services in the Governorate. Following Cabinet approval, the RCA can issue licenses for travel and tourism agencies, accommodation, tours, and the management of facilities. The Commission thanked the government for its support to showcase the nation's culture, art and history in line with the goals of Saudi Vision 2030. The RCA has been tasked with adopting best international practices, seeking reliable partners and investors, and creating more fruitful opportunities. No visa renewal in UAE if it is valid for 6 months. The Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship, Customs and Port Security affirmed that the new updates of the Smart Services System, which were put into force on February 1st, 2023, included not allowing applications for a residence visa renewal request if its validity is more than 6 months. Identity and Citizenship, Customs and Ports Authority reduced the steps related to the process of issuing and renewing residency to be accompanied by the identity card to be in a unified form, including the services of issuing and renewing residency and identity card in one application, instead of the previous separate applications. Through its website and the UAE ICP Smart application, the ICP made it possible to renew the residency associated with the identity electronically through 4 steps, starting with registration and account creation, submitting a visa permit renewal application, paying the prescribed fees, and finally issuing the visa and receiving the Emirates ID containing visa data. When submitting a request to renew a visa permit, a passport of the sponsored person whose validity is no less than 6 months must be available. Identity and Citizenship, Customs and Port Security clarified. Saudi Consumer Protection Association warned against e-purchases from Instagram. The Consumer Protection Association has warned on Sunday all consumers in Saudi Arabia against electronic purchases from the accounts on Instagram platforms in order to avoid procrastination and fraud. CPA said that Instagram platform is a social media platform and not considered as a commercial platform, noting that they are receiving dozens of reports and complaints weekly regarding fraud or procrastination related to purchasing from Instagram accounts. Most of the accounts on Instagram ask to transfer the money to a personal bank account under the names of individuals inside or outside Saudi Arabia. Thus, it turns the dealing between them to a dispute between individuals and not a commercial dispute, which makes the process of retrieving the money complicated and difficult as it does not fall within the framework of trade laws. Consumer Protection Association said that the accounts on Instagram do not meet the e-commerce requirements imposed by the Ministry of Commerce, and the most notable of which is the lack of e-payment, lack of displaying the commercial registry and tax number. Moreover, the failure of having a clear written policy for exchange and refund operations, and the most important thing is that the Instagram accounts are individual accounts and not affiliated or linked to any registered establishment or companies in Saudi Arabia. 3 dozen dead as Brazil rains caused calamity. Heavy rains in coastal areas of Brazil's southeast have caused flooding and landslides that killed 36 people and dislodged hundreds of others, according to a statement from Sao Paulo state authorities on Sunday. Rescue workers continue to look for victims, reconnect isolated communities and clear roads, some of which remain blocked, trapping an undetermined number of tourists who traveled for Brazil's carnival celebrations, Reuters reported. Weather forecasts show heavy rains will continue in Sao Paulo's coastal area, challenging civil defense and fire department rescue teams and raising the prospect of a higher death toll. The federal government determined the mobilization of several ministries to assist victims, restore infrastructure and start reconstruction work. Sao Paulo state declared a 180-day state of calamity for 6 cities after what expatriates described as an unprecedented extreme weather event. Landslide in Jammu Kashmir's Rampant damaged over a dozen houses and affected families shifted. Over a dozen houses were damaged due to a massive landslide in Jammu and Kashmir's Rampant district on Monday. Affected families have been moved to safer locations. The landslide occurred in about 1 square kilometer at Duksar Dalwa in Sankaldan of Gul Tahsil on the upper side of Rampant Sankaldan Gul Road, rendering 13 families homeless. A total of 13 houses were damaged and rendered uninhabitable due to the landslide at Duskar Dal over the past 3 days. The affected families were shifted and provided tents, ration, utensils and blankets as immediate relief. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.